Hi, this is Phil Shapiro. I recently attended the annual Tacoma Park Book Festival. It takes place in December of every year, and authors in Tacoma Park, Maryland, and surrounding towns show up. And one of the authors who showed up had this very interesting book that she wrote, The Student's Comprehensive Guide for College and Other Life Lessons by Valarie R. Austin. So I bought a copy of the book. It looked interesting, and the author was so fascinating to talk to. Here is the author over here. Oh, here's the back of the book. Here's the back cover of the book. Are you unsure if college is for you? And I should tell you just briefly what the book is about. So the book is it's a collection of really sensible tips and advice and wisdom from somebody who has 4 college degrees. So it was hard-earned lessons that are shared with you, kind of like from a beloved aunt or uncle. I'll let you read this on your own. You can stop the video if you'd like. And here's the author, Valarie R. Austin. Here are some little clips that I got from the book, some quotes. So, dear student, here's what I propose. I want you to think of me as a trusted friend or relative who wants the best for you and your future. Now, you will have access to my knowledge from attending, graduating, and acquiring 4 college degrees from 4 different schools over the course of my life. Without a doubt, I understand the steps necessary to successfully earn a college diploma at a 2-year or 4-year institution. So, it's almost as if the author has written a book that she herself would have wanted to have read when she was going through this process. So she assembled this. I think it was a 4 or 5 year process to write this book. So, you buy it for $15 or $20, and she spent 4 or 5 years writing the book. And you can see from the writing style, it's very accessible and enjoyable to read. Here's the table of contents. You can see how well it's structured, the whole book. Is college for you? Is college graduation your goal? College selection, finances, on campus, class registration, the classroom. So you can stop the video if you wanted to take a closer look at this, but it's all well organized. Here we go. Sorry, I shouldn't have jumped so fast. Failing grades. I'm good at that. Actually, failing courses, I'm good at that. I didn't fail any grades in college, but I did fail some courses. Proudly so. Proudly failed some courses. And I got a D in computers, which is how I knew that was the career for me. So this is from Chapter 1, Is College for You? College is not for or accessible to everyone. Regrettably, you may not see college as an option because you do not have the money, lack academic preparation, no desire. In this chapter, I will explore those reasons why you may think college is not for you. I do not intend to judge your choice. So this is, you can see the writing style. It's interesting. It's accessible. It's nicely laid out. I believe the author herself did the layout, and she has her own little publishing company, self-published. So that is impressive. And here's a little clip from Chapter 3, College Selection. Searching for the right college is an annual rite of passage. And she passed along some tips here. So take a look at this. And then I love it when when very useful books reference other very useful books. That's how you get bonus points from a library staffer like me. So she's referencing in her excellent book, the book Campus Visits and College Interviews. And so I had to go and look up that book. Here it is, Campus Visits and College Interviews by Zora Dinson Schneider and Norman G. Snyder. 3rd edition. So, and then I liked the fact that this book had a section on personal finance. And listen to how crisp the writing is. You must understand that money is a tool. Countless young people graduate from high school and college without the first clue about managing their finances, budgeting, saving, investing, credit cards, and debt, and more. Before you go to college, I want you to understand that poor financial habits will have a dire impact on your ability to buy a car, rent an apartment, pay off student debt. Do you know what? this whole book, it almost sounds like a TED Talk, like maybe an extended TED Talk on college advice. So you could almost hear the author's voice as you're reading it. In fact, I have a little treat for you. The author came to visit me at my public library job. I had a chance to sit down and chat with her. So at the end of this little screencast video review, we are going to hear the actual voice of the author. And I asked her some questions about her book. Some really, really good bibliography and citations here. So you get extra points for that. For those who are interested, I make this screencast with some free software called Simple Screen Recorder. I have a Linux laptop. Linux is a free operating system. I love using my ThinkPad Carbon X1. And I use a 4K monitor, with a lot of pixels, because pixels is another name for kindness. Whoopsie. Oops, I think I went too far or too back. No, yeah, here we are. Sorry. Here we go. And yes, pixels is another word for kindness. Okay, and to visit other video book reviews, you can see sites.google.com/site Phil Shapiro Book Reviews. And here's how to contact me. There's my email, my Twitter. You might want to subscribe to my YouTube channel. Heaven forbid. And here, now we are going to get to listen to Valarie R. Austin for about 9 minutes. When I had a chance to talk with her, she came by to visit, and she had some very interesting things to say. So let's take a listen. Hi, this is Phil Shapiro in Tacoma Park. And I am talking with Valarie Austin, the author of, she's a local author, and she's written a very interesting and useful book, The Student's Comprehensive Guide for College and Other Life Lessons. And she drove down here to chat with me today about her book. I'm curious to know, when did the idea for the book gel in your mind?
I was at the time attending the University of Maryland College Park for my second bachelor's degree. And when I was talking to the young adults that were my classmates, I came to realize that a lot of them had 3 issues. First issue was they're running out of money to go to school. Second, they had a mixed match between why they were going to school and the particular major for a particular career. And then the third trend was they didn't know why they were there. Because people would say go to college, the teachers, their parents. But then they would get there and go, okay, I've reached this pinnacle. Why am I here? So my book came out of those discussions that I had with those of my classmates, college-age students.
So that's interesting. Now, you were telling me before we started talking today that you have 4 college degrees?
Yes.
That's quite a lot. That's quite a number. Tell me, what was the succession? Which one did you get first?
Well, the path was I went to the United States Military Academy, also known as West Point, for my first bachelor's degree. While I was there, I loved school. I loved to be a lifelong learner. Well, through my 21 years in the military, Army, I went back and got my University of Wisconsin, Milwaukee Master's of Public Administration. So that was my second degree. Then after I retired after 21 years, I went to Montgomery College here in Maryland to get my associate's degree, and that was in information technology. Well, after I completed that Associate's of Applied Science, I decided, well, I might as well just go on and try and get a second bachelor's degree. So I applied to the University of Maryland College Park, and I was able to get a second bachelor's degree, and the rest is history. No college debt. A lot of it was paid through the military.
Interesting. And your second college degree, University of Maryland degree, was in what topic was that?
It was geography. It actually started off in computer science. Okay. IT, computer science. Okay. But then when I started the programming part of it, I realized that was not something I wanted to do for a career every single day. So I went to geography because it was more in line with my career choice, which was in the military intelligence. Okay. So they deal a lot with geography and weather and things of that nature.
And then how many years did it take to write the book?
It took about 4. Okay. After I graduated from the University of Maryland College Park, it kept germinating in my mind, and I kept thinking to myself, there's got to be a way to get these young people to realize that if you're going to college, it's an expensive proposition. So you need to know what you want to do as a career. And when I say what you need to know, you have to have exposure to as many careers as possible, hopefully in high school, so that when you get to college, it's just a natural extension of that knowledge, that networking that you've already done. So it took me 4 years to do that. And formatting, the cover art, because I'm an independent publisher. Right. So it took me all of that to actually get it to what you see right in front of you.
Now, you and I met at the Tacoma Park Book Festival back in December of 2019. And tell me, what other book festivals have you found to be useful in your travels around?
Actually, as an independent publisher, you have to do your own marketing. That is key to you getting out the word about who you are and what your book is about. So I've been involved in a lot of book festivals. The Kensington Book Festival, the Gaithersburg Book Festival, the Tacoma Park Book Festival, a lot of different ones. But the one that I really enjoyed was the Kensington Book Festival. Reason being is that it was, I guess, a group effort, in that there's the city of Kensington, and then there's a local bookstore there that actually runs it. So it really caters to the authors. It's on one street. All the authors are lined up one after the other along that street on both sides. And it was very effective and efficient as to how it was set up. The pay, because they know you're an independent publisher, the payment for it was a nominal fee, but it still was a good fee that you paid. And it was just an enlightening and a good time.
Now, when I was reading this book, the tone of the book is that of a kindly aunt or uncle. Was that your intent? It's kind of like, here's the wisdom that I kind of wished I had when I was in college.
That was my intention. As I was writing the book, I had many people read it. And I call them beta readers. They give you the readability of the book. And for a nonfiction writer, you really need to know who your audience is. So some of my beta readers came back when I initially gave them the manuscript. They said, well, are you trying to write to the parents? Are you trying to write to the high school or college-bound students? Is this a memoir? What exactly are you trying to attain here? So that helped me to actually focus on the audience, which was the high school and college-bound students. To say, this is what you need to do. These are the steps that you need to consider when you are going toward a career. What is the schooling? The associate's degree, the 4-year degree. Do you even need a degree? Should we go to technical school? So I tried to speak directly to the student.
I noticed there's a lot of financial tips in here. So in what ways do students need to be thinking more about finance?
There is a lack of knowledge with young people about financial literacy. And because college is so expensive, and because there are a lot of young people who grow up in poverty, I have to talk about poverty, they need to know that money is a tool. And my intent in the book is not only to just talk about how you're going to pay for college, but also how you're going to live. Having a checking account, having a savings account. Let's talk about credit. Let's talk about investments. Because these are all the wide range of things that they're going to have to do as they go through either, schooling or they go through their life. Because, again, financial literacy is not something that's actually emphasized as much as it should be. Okay, are you going to use a checking account? And if you are you going to overdraft it? Are you going to overdraw the account? And so these are various things, again, I tried to bring out.
When you're working on your own to publish a book, doesn't it sometimes seem just overwhelming, the number of steps?
This was my first published book, and initially it seemed overwhelming, but I actually had like a milestone list, which actually helped me to get to where I needed to be. Okay, I need to write this amount over this period of time. Once I get it completed, I need to then get it beta read by someone to tell me if it's readable. Once I get to that point, then I need to have somebody proofread it because even though you may be seeing something on the computer or even on the written page as the author, you start to not catch mistakes. So with a proofreader or editor, they help define those things. And then once that occurs, you have to format it. Because for my example, I wanted to have not only a paperback, I wanted to have an ebook that I could use to sell. But then Amazon has its own format for EPUB, which is a MobiFile. So there are many different things that you have to get to that particular point. And then on top of that, I also wanted to have it in Spanish. So I had to have it formatted as a Spanish book and translated as a Spanish book. So yes, it seemed overwhelming, but I had milestones of what I wanted to do.
So maybe that's just one extra tip for the people who are interested in this book, is that you do have to break things down. And when things seem very difficult, figure out how to make them into steps that are attainable.
When they say, if you want to eat an elephant,
yes,
the best way to do it is one bite at a time.
This is Phil Shapiro in Tacoma Park. I'm talking with Valarie R. Austin. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it.